It's been a long couple weeks, so I thought we could do something a little fun today. I absolutely love the TrimUI Brick. This thing has just come with me on the go so many times. If you haven't already, make sure to watch my original TrimUI Brick review. Today, all I'm going to do is build a custom TrimUI Brick and kind of cater it to my liking. So let's just hop right in. This TrimUI Brick was sent over from Mech DIY. Obviously, I'm just building a custom TrimUI Brick today, but the same disclaimer applies. Mech DIY has no input in what I say. They're not seeing this video beforehand. This is not a review on the device. As mentioned, if you want to see my full review, I'll have that link down below. First things first, if you're interested in picking up the TrimUI Brick, make sure to head over to Mech DIY's website. Again, this comes in a couple different colors. You can get this in black, white, purple, and of course red. The two that I have here are the black and the red model. Personally, I really like this red model, but I also really like the black one. I want to see if there's a way to combine these two to make a really good looking TrimUI Brick. The pricing on the base model is $79.99, but they always have coupons up on their website. The thing I like about Mech DIY is they also have a lot of cool little bundles. These bundles also save you a little bit of money too, with the base price of $79. If you bundle a screen protector in with the bag itself, it'll actually bring down the device cost to $79.78. Of course, you can still stack that coupon on it, so it makes it a really good deal overall. But yeah, definitely make sure to check out Mech DIY's website if you're interested in picking up a brick. But let's hop back over and let's start the custom build. So this model is the black one, and I also have a red TrimUI Brick. Essentially what I want to do is keep the shell on the red TrimUI Brick, but I want to replace the buttons here with black. I'm also going to be pulling these buttons over and putting them on the black model. I've never opened a TrimUI Brick, so I have honestly no idea what to expect. Let's take a close look to see what Mech DIY sent over. In the box, we have the SerwishOS card. They sent over the 256GB version. This is a good way to go if you don't feel like setting up the device yourself. We have the brick itself. I think this black model looks pretty slick. Let's start opening them up. On the back, you're going to notice 6 different screws. There's 2 in the top panel here, and then there's 4 in the bottom. I bought this little screwdriver kit on Amazon a little while ago. Honestly, this has been one of the better investments that I bought for this hobby. I use this quite a lot. It's spring loaded, so it pops out at the bottom, and it has just about every single bit that you're going to need. We're going to need this one right here, which is the Torx bit. And on the back, we have a few different other ones. And of course, the screwdriver itself. So let's take that out. And I got to find the bit. I kind of wonder if it's one of these. Let's see what size it is. Out of this set that I have here, the T6H is the one that fits the best. So this is the one I'm going to use to open it up. Let's go ahead and remove these 6 screws on the back. You know, I gotta say, I've been really having a lot of fun with the TrimUI Brick. I don't know, it kind of feels like the Mio Mini, but all in all, the quality just is so much better. Might have to take these bumpers off too, so I'm just gonna pull these off quick. Slide my finger down the side, and maybe I'll just pull this off. There it goes. Kind of hard to see, but this is the little battery clip here. I found the easiest way to do this is just kind of wiggle it, and it'll pop right out. There we go. That's a pretty clean looking motherboard. To get this out, I'm going to have to take these 2 screws off at the top. For that, I'm going to need to swap over to one of the Phillips bits. Make sure to keep these separate as well. This plastic piece should just lift right out. Yep, just comes right off. And there's a few other things that we should probably disconnect before pulling out the board, namely being this ribbon cable here first. Just flip this up. This will be in a completely vertical position like this at a 90-degree angle. Then what I like to do is get some plastic tweezers, stick this under the ribbon cable, then just pull it back. You definitely don't want to use any metal because you can scratch the ribbon cable pretty easy. Go ahead and disconnect the antenna. There is 1 screw holding this entire board in. It kind of sits on the bottom in the middle. I just noticed there's 3. There's 1 over here by the 2 speaker wires, 1 in the center, then 1 off to the other side. So I'm going to take these out. They're just a Phillips bit, so I'm going to use the same one. I don't know for sure if I'm going to have to disconnect these 2 cables, but I'm just going to try lifting it off and we'll see if it comes out with it. I just kind of slid it up, then we can access everything that we need to. This is what it looks like on the other side. You can just use your tweezers and pull out the buttons with the rubber membranes still attached. Since these are switch based, you don't want to pull this off the membrane. Keep these all connected. I want these, so I'm going to pull these off as well. Don't forget to take out the reset switch. That one is also black, and I want that on the red model. You're also going to want to take out the volume switch on the side. If you want to swap everything over to black, there is also another switch on the side here. That's the function switch. You can pull that off too. Now that I've set all those aside, all I have to do now is just open up the red one and pull those out for the black model. You've already seen how to open this, so I'm just going to save you the trouble and skip this with the power of editing. Now I've got the red model apart, all I have to do is put the black stuff back in. It's the same thing we just did, but in reverse. I'm going to put that black D-pad in first. Just make sure these 4 little posts line up with these holes, and then just push them down. Let's get those face buttons in. You go in the same way, just push that down. And the 3 buttons at the bottom. It's already coming together really nice. I think I'm going to really like it. Let's get that volume button in there at the top. Remember the plus is on the top, so just make sure you put this in the right way. Last thing we need to do is get the function button in. So let's find that and put that in next. I don't really think there's a specific way to do this button though, so let's just put that in there. Give a little slide from the inside to make sure it works. Seems to be working fine. And also have the reset switch. That one goes at the bottom. I think I got everything in there. This one was a little harder to get in. Just make sure to put that long part down on the bottom. I got the volume button in, the function button, and of course the face buttons. So I think we're all good. Now all we have to do is just put the motherboard back in. In case you're wondering as well, you can pull off this metal backplate, so you could technically put this red metal backplate onto the black model. All you have to do is just take off these 2 screws and pull it up. Make sure to put the screen ribbon cable through first. That just goes through this little thin hole up here at the top. Once that's in, you got to make sure that these little cables here for the speakers are off to the side. If it's not going down, make sure that these little wires are coming out the right side on where the speaker sits. If you have it over top of this red lip, it won't let the motherboard sit down properly into place. Also make sure to run this other speaker cable just along between these 2 parts here. If you have this over top of the buttons or anything else, it won't close. Also make sure to run this long speaker wire here through down this little crevice. Once you weed the wires down the side and put that ribbon cable in, just make sure everything is kind of sitting flush down with it. Be extremely careful not to break off this little switch on the side. You have to make sure that this lock is slid down to where this hole is going to be for this little switch. The volume switches are also on the top, so just be careful when you're putting this together. Now I've got it back together. Let's get those 3 screws in the bottom so it doesn't pop out anymore. With pre-threaded screws like this, you want to rotate left till you hear a click. Once you hear that click, you know you're in the thread, and then just go ahead and tighten it. Let's go ahead and get the other 2 screws in. Now that everything's kind of being held in place, we can flip it over and take a closer look at the front to see what it looks like. I can already tell I think this is just going to be absolutely perfect. Let's reattach the screen ribbon cable next. Make sure that that lock is up again. Then just line it up with this little hole here on the side and wiggle it into place. Once it's lined up, just go ahead and push this little lock down. Now the screen's all connected. So the last thing we have to do is just get this antenna in. The antenna is going to be a lot easier to work with these little tweezers. These are not the most rigid tweezers to work with, so if you have some anti-static metal ones, that's what I would recommend. Just push that down, and it's all connected. I got those 2 speakers also connected again. The last thing that we need to do is just connect the battery that sits right here and put the backplate on. The battery cable is easy to connect. Just make sure to line it up, then just push it into place. Before you put the backplate on, just make sure to put that little piece of plastic up at the top by the LEDs. Rotate the screw until you hear a click so you know you're in the thread. Then just go ahead and tighten it into place. And let's get that backplate on. This should be really easy to stick on here. Just push it down. Remember, for the back screws, we're going to need that T6 bit. What I like to do to spread the pressure out is to get one in the corner, then go to the other corner, then just kind of work my way in. I did have to open this up again, and it's because I forgot something really simple. Make sure the D-pad goes down the correct way. These 2 should be at the bottom. It's really hard to see on film, but there is also a small notch on the bottom right corner. This will fit into the small notch right here, then put it all back together. But it should be okay now. The triggers are really easy to get back on. All you have to do is just slide them in place. Just make sure that they're on the right side. We'll just slide those on quick, and that's about it. And I don't know about you guys, but I think this looks really nice. The black buttons with the red shell is just the perfect combo in my opinion. The triggers look really nice, and the side buttons also accent this really well. So now that I've got this one all customized, let's swap over to the black one and get that all set up. The red accents on the black also look really nice. I honestly don't know which one I prefer. I think I'm personally leaning towards this red with black buttons, but the black with the red buttons also looks really nice too. But I'm really curious to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Which one would you prefer? Both Surwish and MIUI are great options for the OS on this device. Anyways, thanks for hanging out this morning as I kind of built these two little custom bricks just to see which one I liked better. If you have any questions, make sure to ask in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching everyone.